Hi there, friends. Thanks for joining us for another weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Coming up in this half hour, Western Roundup returns this week with some shining light of love. And in our HealthWise segment, see how you can manage diabetes. Plus, Jamaica Customs making cross-border trade seamless. Stay with us for all these and more after this important message.
It's absolutely critical that we receive the vaccines. You will see hospitalizations and indeed deaths likely come down. And so there is a lot of value to be gained by getting as many vulnerables on board as possible. So tell your mothers, tell your aunts, listen out for yourselves if you're over 60, and take the vax, because the vax is what will help you to guard against the COVID virus and indeed help your relatives, your friends, those who you come in contact with for the same benefit.
We're starting our journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine with our Western Roundup segment. So let's head on over to Trelawney and join our team member, Nikita Sterling, for a story of hope and goodwill, shining in the community of Warsop. Hop on for this enlightenment tour.
Hi, today on Western Roundup, we head to the quiet Queens community of Warsop in Trelawney, where the Social Development Commission along with the Warsop Community Development Committee have been working to change the lives of the indigent. We look exactly at what they've been doing. Stay with us for this inspiring story.
Miss Violet is my husband, auntie. So I help her out when I'm ready sometime. Help her carry water, help her cook sometime, help her do every little thing sometime. Go to the bush with her sometime, help her carry out her yam when she digging yam sometime. So that's about Aunt Vi. And she's a hard-working lady.
70-year-old Violet Palmer is a widow living in Warsop, Trelawney. She has no children and depends on her relatives and the kindness of her community members to make ends meet. She has been living in a structure unfit for habitation, so it was an attitude of joy and gratitude when she was informed by the Warsop Community Development Committee, CDC, that they would be constructing a house for her.
So I'm glad when they come and can build a home for me. So I deliver everything in God's name. I put my trust in Cheryl and everyone who come and give assistance to me.
The initiative is being implemented under the CDC's Helping Hand initiative that started in August and is nearing completion.
And we supply our vulnerable people in our community members with care packages 4 times for the year. So it was one of the times when we came to distribute our packages, we saw Miss Violet. And she said she's asking us for 2 sheets of ply to put on our house because our house is in a bad shape. So we decided at a CDC meeting that we do something for her. Instead of 2 sheets of ply, when we looked at the place, we said no, she needed more than 2 sheets of ply.
This initiative, though, would not have been possible without the help of the Social Development Commission, which assisted with the development of the project proposal and the implementation of the project.
We at the Social Development Commission, we have our 7 programs, one of which is the strengthening of the participatory governance framework program, where we organize governance structures such as the community development committees, of which WARSOP falls under that. We at the SDC, we help to organize the community development committees, and we also assist them in project proposal writing. And for this particular project, we assisted them with the project proposal writing for it, and we helped them to organize the project.
But while the structure is almost completed, the CDC is seeking more support to install the flooring and fixtures and to add the finishing touches. Meanwhile, for those not directly involved in the CDC, they are proud of the move by the SDC and the CDC and are happy they were able to assist Mrs. Palmer.
Each time I came in the rain time and see the condition, like it's bring a part of me with her, knowing that she don't have kids and stuff like that. So I decided that I will go the extra mile for her, helping her. She's a nice, humble lady. So I sit there and I ask. When I ask, it's like few persons promise, but they never turn up. So I constantly ask them, I constantly post at my status, and they come alive. When they come alive, I get few bags of cement. I start from there. Then I start begging mall, I start begging cement, I start begging boards and stuff like that. When I finally reached there, I was almost in a budget of over 300,000. I sit right at the shop there and beg it.
Persons interested in assisting Mrs. Palmer may contact the SDC Trelawney Parish Office at 876-954-5828.
Did you know that the Social Development Commission works to build community development committees in every community across Jamaica? Well, it simply means there may be an active one near you. We encourage you to find your community development committee and start building your community. As usual, thanks for joining us for Western Roundup, where we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Until next time, take care.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
I only way of celebrating it. They say the people them them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal pants of it, you know.
Medal.
Amount of tongue we give them, you know.
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre. Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
I forgot to download the app to get the updates then.
How we live, our lifestyle, including eating habits, has an impact on our health. We can support good health and prevent or manage lifestyle diseases such as diabetes by avoiding the bad practices that lead to or worsen these conditions. Learn more in this next feature.
Diabetes is a serious chronic lifestyle disease affecting millions of people over the world and continues to increase. Diabetes affects how your body turns food into energy. It is a disease in which your blood glucose or blood sugar levels are too high, and glucose comes from the food you eat. Insulin is a hormone that helps the glucose get into your cells to give energy. Sometimes your body doesn't make enough or any at all, doesn't make any insulin and so it doesn't use the insulin well. Glucose then stays in your blood and doesn't reach your cells. Over time, having too much glucose in your blood can cause complications. Example, situations with the kidney, heart disease, and so on. Although diabetes has no cure, there are steps you can take to manage your diabetes and stay healthy.
It is through lifestyle that we manage the risk of diabetes. Those behaviors include increased physical activity, a healthy diet, routine health checks, and strict adherence to medication. The ministry will be championing the cause of persons living with diabetes. We have updated our clinical management guidelines, which is now available on our website, and we will be working on increasing access to testing through the introduction of point-of-care testing. This methodology of testing is the gold standard for monitoring and control of diabetes. Our agency, the National Health Fund, will continue to support persons through the provision of diabetic medication and supplies, and I encourage persons with diabetes to enroll in the NHF card program to access this benefit.
The person with diabetes should really have an opportunity to sit down with a trained clinician who is able to help them to understand the concepts of diabetes self-management, education, and support. There are 4 core areas the patient must begin to understand. How and when to take medication. That's the first one. If you take insulin, then you need to know how does your insulin work and how do you eat in relation to the insulin. Then there are the people who have type 2 diabetes, which commonly start off with education on activity and just healthy nutrition. And then we add 1 of 5 classes of oral agents. And then we teach them how to make food, how to eat food. Also, we think of things like target blood pressure. Is your weight healthy, or do you need to lose a little weight? And most importantly, how do you feel? What is your quality of life? All of this is what we focus on. Also, when you get your lab work done, what is your hemoglobin A1C? The target should be 7% or less. Keep that number in your mind. Diabetes damages the feet, the kidney, and the eyes at first, and then eventually we also find it can cause coronary vascular disease too. But for foot care, the person with diabetes every day, you wash your feet, wash them properly. Dry your feet, dry between the toes. Moisturize your feet, but do not put moisturizer between the toes. Make sure that you wear cotton socks, right? If you're going to have your toes cut by somebody trained who knows how to cut them. Examine your feet every day. Do not walk barefoot. Please, please, please do not walk barefooted, because if you injure or cause trauma to the feet, you may not feel it because your diabetes has damaged the nerves to the feet. And finally, when you buy shoes that are comfortable and that you can wear without causing blisters or trauma to the feet. Now we have research that shows that I can prevent the eye damage, the kidney damage, the foot damage, and the amputations by just keeping my blood glucoses under control and taking care of myself.
There's no such thing as a diabetic diet, but it's all about how much I eat, the timing of my meals. So it's your portion sizes is what is important. Now, what we do recommend is that persons eat at least 3 balanced meals per day and small snacks. Snacks usually mean smaller, more nourishing meals, which we usually recommend that it be your fruits, your vegetables, or you can also use your nuts. Each meal or snack should contain protein because we need it to be balanced as well. Each meal should contain at least your protein and your fat, and we also want them to select a variety of foods from all the food groups. So there is some recommendations about the amount of fruits that you should eat per day. We usually say 2 to 3 servings. We want you to include a variety of vegetables daily. We also want you to include more peas, beans, and nuts in your daily meals. Reduce your intake of salty and processed foods, and to reduce your intake of fats and oils, and that of sugary foods and drinks. You aim for foods that have high sources of fiber, such as your whole wheat bread, whole grain rice, flour, more of your ground provisions. They will give you fiber, right? And that will slow down the rate at which your body breaks down the food, so you won't have a rapid increase in your blood sugar levels, versus if you eat foods that are low in these added fibers. When you're having alcohol as a person living with diabetes is not to have it on an empty stomach, because it gives the risk of lowering your blood sugar. And also what we want you to do is that once you have diabetes, we do not really recommend the mixed drinks, so as to say, because they usually have a sweetened base. For women, it's usually you can have a drink per day, and for men is no more than 2 drinks. And what is a drink? Usually for beer, it's not more than 12 ounces. And for like a shot, it's usually a shot, which is about 1.5 ounces. And for wine, recommendation is usually about 5 ounces thereabout.
Watch this next feature to see how Jamaica Customs and other border regulatory agencies in Jamaica are making cross-border trade seamless and more efficient to improve doing business in Jamaica.
With the implementation of digital platforms to facilitate trade, the ease of doing business is not just a phrase, but reality. Through the ratification of the Trade Facilitation Agreement, the government of Jamaica has put systems in place to improve cross-border trade.
This is definitely a step in the right direction.
The following services are available through J-Swift. These include motor vehicle dealership license, heavy-duty equipment import permit, as well as for hydrogen and rare gases. Traders will also be able to access import permits for refined sugar and milk powder, motor vehicle and motorcycle, as well as for chassis and clips. For persons importing plant and plant-based products, such permit is available through J-Swift.
Right now, with the new J-Swift platform, it's a preferred method.
Using this platform, the Jamaica Customs Agency, the Trade Board Limited, and other border regulatory agencies across Jamaica are able to process documents submitted online by traders in a timely manner. That also includes certificate of origin.
So currently, the respective parties are able to go online and do a self-registration, providing their details, and that to do with the company to which are being associated. And thereafter, they will have access to a suite of online applications. So whether it is for applying for a permit, applying for a license, or in this case, a certificate of origin, which is involved in exports.
After registering and receiving your user login from the J-Swift platform, the trader is now able to make an application. The system also allows for the attachment of supporting documents.
For example, if you're doing a motor vehicle import application, you'll be required to submit the pre-shipment inspection, the invoice, and of course the other documents, for example, the certificate of registration or title. There are others which will just require simply a commercial invoice, and there are others which will require more details by way of the data that is being submitted on the application form.
The most recent service offered on the J-Swift platform by the Trade Board Limited is that of the Certificate of Origin. The trader will enter the exporter and co-signee details on the general information page of the application. The trader will then complete the special segment, which includes the country of destination, producer or manufacturer details, transport details, followed by the item details page, which will allow the trader to enter each item and commercial description along with the country of origin, the origin criterion, and invoice details. The related invoice must then be uploaded as a supporting document, after which the trader will submit the application and proceed to make payment using the online payment service. The application will thereafter be assigned in real time to an officer for processing. The approved certificate of origin with the electronic signature, stamp, and reference number will be available for download once the application has been approved. The trader will also benefit from a system-generated CARICOM invoice with details of the approved products from the certificate of origin. If the application consists of clothing and textile, the system will also generate a certificate of Jamaican origin, JN2 or JN3, with the relevant details.
There are a list of criteria that we check for based on whenever the clients submit their documents to us. So we check to ensure that both invoice and certificates, the consignee and the the company that is exporting the product is indeed correct. We also check to ensure that no clients will be exporting another client's product, because that can be a breach on our part. Each certifying officer will check to ensure that all products are deemed certified for export for duty-free treatment. Once that is done, we approve the document, and those documents are then sent back to the client via their dashboard, where they are able to print it, and they're also able to upload the same document to the Asikuda system.
Another benefit to using the JSwift platform is making payments. That can also be done on the system, eliminating the need to go to multiple places for this transaction.
After the payment is done, you will get a verification from the JSwift platform saying the permit has been paid for and is being processed. So in a day or two, you'd get an email that permit has been approved. So in fact, it doesn't take very long to do the payment. Once the payment has been made and verified, the trade board will assign an assessor to work on that application.
Before you are able to submit your certificate of origin on the JSwift system, there's a key element. You would have to complete your product analysis form so that we can tell you if your product qualifies for duty-free treatment. If it does qualify, we will submit a letter to you informing you. But if it does not qualify, we will still submit a letter to you, but we will guide you and provide you with the necessary information to tell you why.
To help stakeholders maneuver the JSwift platform, the Jamaica Customs Agency is carrying out ongoing training sessions.
Along with the training sessions, so what we have done is to prepackage the material. So we do have our YouTube channel that is Learning JSwift, which has quite a bit of the videos, which would guide persons as to use the service. We also have our e-learning platform, that's learning.jswift.gov.jm, where persons can go and register for the online learning platform and of course enroll and go through the training material at their own pace and at their time and convenience.
With JSwift coming online with Certificate of Origin, the EUR, I am sure that trade will be speeded up.
So far for us, it has been very efficient. It's less time taken up to having to stamp so many documents because it's now digital. And with all of that, we're able to focus on additional duties that we have that is needed to be completed at the trade board.
The online services certainly is a step in the right direction. We do understand the constraints of the pandemic and the need for us to provide services that are far more convenient to our citizens or traders.
Jamaica Single Window for Trade, JSwift, enabling faster processing and release of commodities, transparency, trader compliance, reduced cost associated with trade regulatory requirements, while fostering best practice and improving trade standards.
It is important that the foods that enter the market for public consumption are healthy, safe, and free from contaminants. We are about to see how this is monitored and ensured by the Food Storage and Prevention of Infestation Division.
The Food Storage and Prevention of Infestation Division is mandated to ensure the wholesomeness of food entering commerce. So it's a division that is geared towards food safety. And to do that, we have an inspectorate unit, that is our frontline unit, that would go to the various points of entry, to anywhere that stores food. So we have inspectors stationed at the ports of entry, at supermarkets, warehouses. We check containers. Inspectors are almost anywhere where food is stored.
The Food Storage and Prevention of Infestation Division has been accredited to the ISO 17020 standard, which certifies their competence in doing food and field inspection in premises, containers, and on ships.
We also do breeding for schools and universities. So yes, we do that with the rats. We actually do trapping as well. We go out into the field and we do trapping. So at various locations, we'll take some designated rat traps and we go out and we would trap rats and we breed them in-house.
The division also comprises of a rodent biology and control unit where they conduct efficacy testing to see how effective rodenticides are on the rats.
There are some myths floating around with rats and how to keep rats away. And one of the myths is that you have to spice up the poison for them to eat it and to die, which isn't really so. It's best not to add things like gravy or other foodstuff to the poison. What you want the rat to do is to eat as much of the poison as possible.
Another myth is that by using select rodenticides, you will not be able to smell the rat once it dies.
The smell of the rat has to do with really how the time at which it dies and how far it is from where you thought it died. Another myth is that the rats can't climb on wires. Some of us would really see that they can climb on wires. You can see them on utility wires. Another myth is that if a rat bites your fruit, for example a mango, you can cut off that bitten portion and eat the rest. No, it's best to discard it and best not to eat it, because if the rat has eaten part of it, they could mess on the rest of the fruit, so you wouldn't want that. So if you have a fruit that is bitten by rats, best to discard it.
In addition to the Rodent Biology and Control Unit, the Food Storage and Prevention of Infestation Division also has other testing laboratories such as the Pesticide, Residue and Microtoxin Unit, a Microbiology Unit, and an Entomology Unit. For more information on the Food Storage and Prevention of Infestation Division, an entity under the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, visit or call them at their offices at 15 Gordon Road in Kingston or 30 to 34 Market Street, Montego Bay, St. James.
And this is where we end today's journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine. Thank you so much for your company. Be sure to join us again next time. Until then, keep watching this and other Jamaica Magazine programs on the JIS's YouTube channel. Visit our website, jis.gov.jm, and find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to protect yourself and others against COVID-19. Get vaccinated and maintain good hygiene practices. Wear your mask in the presence of other persons and do stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.